Hola, ¿qué tal, mi gente? You're here for a Bilingual Sounds sessions, and we are here at Arroz Fun here in Lincoln Heights. They allowed us to use the space because tonight we're having a very special winter showcase brought to you by Bilingual Sounds and Arroz Fun. I'm Byron, the curator, and I am the program director of our HD3 channel called Bilingual Sounds, where you can stream everywhere and anywhere on bilingualsounds.org, also on the Bilingual Sounds app that's available in the App Store and Google Play. We are a public radio station, so your support means the world to us. It's because of your support that we're able to do these sessions and able to keep a radio stream on the air. And today, I'm very happy to welcome the Panamanian singer-songwriter who just released her new album. It's self-titled too because it speaks volumes. We got Sofía Valdés aquí. Tenemos a Sofía. ¿Cómo estás?
Hola, bien, gracias por invitarme.
So yeah, congratulations on your new debut album. It's fantastic. You truly outdid yourself with this album.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. I do want to talk a little bit more about it, but I first want to get to know you a little bit more. Mm-hmm. What would you say is one of your favorite foods?
If I'm home, I think it has to be like anything with rice and like a really good, like well-cooked like vegetable, like that I'm like, wow, like I really killed that. And then like any protein, I don't know what. Like usually I like salmon. Lately, I've been into this kind of minced beef, but that's kind of like my home meal.
Yeah.
Because then you can cook a lot of it, and then just like you can store it in like little things.
Is that what you're dreaming about right now? Because I know you're about to head back home to Panama.
No, I just ate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just ate it on my way back. But the vegetables like carrots. And I was like, oh, and avocado, carrots, avocado, rice, and then meat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah, but I think it has to be like, right now I'm like kind of crazy about oysters and I'm kind of crazy about fries.
Oysters and fries.
Oysters and fries, but like it's not like something you can just buy like once a week. Like last time I had it was like maybe a month ago or like 2 months ago and I'm like,
special occasions.
Streaming, yeah, and I was able to eat that because it was the release of my album. I was like, I want oysters today. I can do it. So
it's a treat yourself type of thing.
Yeah.
Because if you have it too much, it loses its novelty.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I love it so much. But it's like a new thing. It's like my I have like little obsessions in moments. For a while it was like, it was pasta with, what's that? Bolognese.
Okay. That's a good one.
You know.
It's good though.
Moments there's like sushi. Sometimes I can't even look at sushi. It just depends. Like it just changes, I guess.
See, it loses its novelty if you have it.
But you know what I eat every day? Bread, eggs, and avocado. Every single day.
Breakfast of champions.
Yeah.
What would you say is an album that you listened to so much when you were little that you just like you always go back to it too?
Like, honestly, I can't really remember. Because obviously I didn't have like an iPod or whatever. Like, I was just listening to whatever was in my dad's car at the moment.
Oh, okay.
You know? And he definitely had CDs. Do you remember Seal?
Yeah, I do.
He would just nonstop play Seal. That's one of the things I remember. And then like one of the Beatles albums, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. And then like, I think Phil Collins or something.
Okay.
And then my mom was like Britney and like Fergie.
Very different.
Yeah,
vibes.
I remember.
Wow.
Black Eyed Peas was massive in my mom's car. But then my first album that I kind of got for myself, I was 11 and I got the Taylor Swift Speak Now record. But now that I'm older, like I would say like for me, like this album has done so much for me. It's this, I'm gonna butcher the name, but Jorge Benjor.
Okay.
And then the album is called Fuerza Bruta. I don't know how to say it in Portuguese, but yeah, it's an amazing album. And that has like shaped me a lot in the past like 5 years, like rewired my brain.
And in your songwriting?
Yeah, I think like my frontal lobe, like it helped in its development.
Yeah, you
So it's supposed
evolved.
to fully be developed in like 2 months, and I'm so excited to
Start
have
listening to it again.
Yeah. Because I turned 25.
There you go. Oh, wow.
That's why.
It's almost your birthday?
Yeah, February 12th,
Oh, yeah.
2000. But everywhere online says that I'm a Sagittarius, like December 11. I'm like, that is not my birthday. And they also say I'm like 1999. I'm like, where did you all get this information that I'm a Sag?
But
I am not. I'm a Aquarius.
get it right. Get it right.
It's important for me. Especially I was so into astrology. And then have your
what
birth
is
chart
it?
be wrong.
What is it? Put it down right now on the record. What is your
My
official?
birthday is February 12, 2000. Okay. And I'm an Aquarius, Leo rising, Taurus moon.
Okay, there we go.
I'm not a Sagittarius.
For everybody, if you're a journalist, make sure you write that down in your notes.
Year of the Dragon. There's a big difference between 2000. I don't know what 1999 is, but it's not Year of the
You would have
Dragon.
been a completely different person.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have definitely had CDs and everything.
I would have mind having CDs, to be honest. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I remember you'd have to buy the Walkman and have big enough pocket to carry it.
Oh my God, I
Or-
forgot
or
that was a thing.
Yep. So I grew up like that, going into school, putting it in my pocket. It's just a big old Walkman in your pocket. It was kind of uncomfortable. But we made through.
What year are you?
89.
Okay. So like, you're 10 years older than me?
Yeah.
10 years younger than me?
Yes. I look young, don't I?
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the
It's a
grays.
Hi guys. This is so exciting. And I also love music, of course, like, right? Yeah, I do. Is it okay if I hold this? Because it's so cold. And I'm super, yeah, if you guys want to come closer, sorry, I can't even barely see with the lights. So I'm singing a few songs tonight. I'm going to sing 5 songs. I'm saying how many songs I'm going to sing because sometimes when I go to like small showcases and stuff, sometimes I'm like, bro, like when are they going to stop singing? And now you guys can count it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, this is real. So the first song is called Barbed Wire. And this is actually a very special song for me because, why? Can't remember. Oh, because I kind of wrote it in a long amount of time. It took me, I think, like a year to finish it. It started kind of with like this one story, and then by the end it kind of turned into something else. So what happened was that I met someone and I thought we were in love. I was like, I met the love of my life. Like, this is literally like, it was one of those moments. I told my mom, I told my dad, I told my entire family. I'm like, this is the one. And we were supposed to go on a date. And then I remember I went to a date and then he didn't show up. Yeah. And then he was like, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah. And he was like, okay, let's like see each other tomorrow, like in this place at this time. Okay. I go. He doesn't show up. And then he's like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, let's do this again. Like, let's meet in this park. Okay. I'm like, okay. Like, oh, like this man like has the worst luck. And then I go, and he doesn't show up. This happened 5 times. I just have a lot of faith in people. I was like there, and then I found out he had a girlfriend that entire time. And half of you people might know who this person is, which is even crazier. He's also a singer. Anyway, I'm never gonna tell. But maybe one day you guys will do your research and it's gonna come out. Okay, so I'm gonna stop talking now. So this song is called Barbed Wire. emotions on the covers. How do you say that? Unplug, strip back. What is it? Strip back. So I feel like I'm like, I feel like such a diva or something with this scarf. I'm freezing, guys. Actually, it's not that cold. I'm just always cold. Anyway, so yeah, that's Barbed Wire. I'm very excited to be here. I want to thank everyone for coming. For those who don't know me, my name is Sofía Valdés. I'm a Panamanian singer-songwriter living in LA, living my best life, trying. So this next song is called How's That Working Out? Unfortunately, it doesn't have that crazy of a story as the past one, which I forgot to say really quickly. When I went, I texted him the song, actually. I texted him the Barbed Wire because I was like, a year later, I was like, you know what? He needs to know how I feel. I sent him the song. I shouldn't have done that. I did it anyway. And then he goes, wow, it's crazy how we all live in we all go through the same thing, but live such different things. So Sim saying basically that it was all in my head, which probably was. But anyway, this one's called How's That Working Out? Which is continuation of the Crazy Girl saga. And it's actually inspired by Oughta Know. You Oughta Know, I think it's called. I was like, I want something that's gonna hit like this, that is gonna maybe not be exactly like it, but that feels like it. And we were trying to like come up with like words and like sentences that maybe had something like that. And How's That Working Out kind of like did that for us with the story specifically. But yeah, this one's How's That Working Out?
I know girl thinks that you're my
So yeah, let's talk about your new album now that you like talked about how music has influenced you throughout your life. What was like the main driving force behind this album that you didn't have with your previous EPs?
It's weird because I felt like I had a lot of people around me, like really, how do you say, like alentándome, like keep going, like yeah, you're doing great, you know what I mean? Like I had a lot of, I don't know, I think while doing this record, I felt really like stuck at a lot of times, and I felt I was emotionally in a really like all over the place, and I think it was, you know, one of the first times I was in LA, and like, I mean, not one of the first times, I already had moved here, but I kind of had, like, it took me a really long time, like, to get an apartment. I got denied by 7 different places.
Oh wow, that's not good.
Well, because I don't have a credit score because I'm from the US. Now I have a credit score, which I'm really happy, and it's really high, so I'm really happy about that. But back then, like, you know, so there was just a lot of stress. Like, I just wanted to have like a home, you know, like a safe place where I could just like come to after work, and not having that was adding so much stress for me. So I think that's why the record kind of took so long to make. So I think there was a lot of stuff in my life that with the music, then like, I wasn't like calm and chill through making this.
Okay.
For sure. There was a lot of like angst behind it, and a lot of like, you know, I was very happy at the same time because I've never been so like happy creatively, but also, yeah, it was just so many things happening. And before, I think it was like me, I would write the song, love it, woohoo, we could keep going. You know, this was like a very different experience overall.
Interesting. And you did release a couple singles, like after you released your Ventura and then In Bloom, and then you released like 2 singles, and then what ultimately would become your like album. But when you released Silva, did you know that that was gonna be part of your album?
Yeah,
You
for
did
sure.
already.
Well, I was like, after In Bloom, I was like, next I want an album. They were like, girl, like you cannot, like albums are not a thing right now. Like they're not a thing. I'm like, no, like it has to be an album.
Really?
Like,
Okay.
and so all the songs were written by the time that Sylvia came out.
Okay.
So the album has been done for a long time, you know? It was just like kind of like figuring out the right time to put it out. But yeah, the album was out for a while. I mean, no, not out, done for a long time. And from like literally like day 4 of the studio, I was like, this is an album. Like I've never heard anyone say this EP changed my life.
Yeah.
You know, it's an album.
Yeah, it's true.
I was like, you know, but also at the end of the day, it's not only you. Like, you know, you have like, I have a label behind me. I have my management. I have a lot of people behind me that I can't just like, actually, I'm gonna do an album now. You know what I mean?
I get it.
It has to be all kind of right in order to do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of planning.
But then they were like, okay, fine, do your album. And I was like, okay. But then we would have to separate it into different EP and EP and EP and then album. But then these songs were already out.
So you couldn't include that at all. But it seems like you've had this album for a while, but I saw on your Instagram and also this is a song we've been playing for a little bit, How's That Working Out?
Yeah.
That Kuko came into it at the last minute, kind of, right? How did that pan out? How did that play out? Like,
so
how did that turn, like make a right turn out of nowhere?
That's kind of funny because like the song was done, it was mixed and it was mastered, and I was like, yeah, ready to go. And then I think like someone at the label was like, have you thought about a feature? Like we don't have features. We had already Danny done, like we had done the song with Danny. And then Arthur Veracai was in this other song, which was like a massive deal for me. But then then they were like, well, should we do this artist or should we try with this artist? Should we send them the songs? I was like, at this point, like this album is very close to me, close to home, and all the artists at that point were Latin that had worked in the, like had, collabed with me in that way. So I was like, you know, if we're gonna put someone like I'd rather have it be someone who's Latin as well. And then it didn't take me more than a second for Omar to come into my head. And I was like, I texted him.
Oh, so you had already been friends?
Yeah. We had already tried doing songs in the past, but nothing really like stuck. But then for this one, I was like, hey, like I know we've never been able to work with, like, would you be down to jump into this? Because it is coming out, and like, you know, and he was like, yeah. And he was so quick to respond, so quick to just get into the studio the next day. So it was great. He was great.
Wow, flawless.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
He's great. Very kind person.
So this next song is very special for me. Also, by the way, I cannot speak quickly in English. And for how I'm working out, every time I sing the Google thing, because I'm singing his part, I'm like praying in that moment. I'm like, please don't mess up. Because I had to do it like, I had to speed down the song and doing like, like singing all his part, and then I had to speed it up slowly for me to, but it's not even that fast. But whatever. It's a silver line. No, it's a goal that I've achieved. So this next song is called Tacones Por La Puerta, and it's a very special song for me. It's actually my mom's favorite song, so whenever like I bring it up, she starts crying. So emotional. And so because I wrote about her and her relationship with her mom and how difficult that's always been. And you know, I feel like mother-daughter relationships are hard, period. My relationship with my mom has never been always like smooth as it is right now, but obviously we went through a very hard time at some point. I feel like again, like we all do. And I realized that there were like parts of my personality that I was really trying to suppress and pretend like they were not there. And there were parts that my mom had and parts of that my grandmother also had. And I was just like, I'm not going to be like them. I'm just not going to be like them. And then now that I'm like older and I started living by myself and after going through relationships, I was like, wait a minute, like I'm doing the exact same thing that I hated that my mom did. And then I talked to my mom about it, and then she was like, oh my God, that's crazy. My mom does the same thing. And then it was like, we kind of started talking about that a lot. And, you know, at the end, you realize like, oh wow, like I'm so much like them in so many ways. And I think like the only way to actually not be like that, not that that should be the reasoning behind you trying not to have that part of your personality, is like through compassion and love with yourself and to your family and trying. I know sometimes it's really hard. Everyone has such a different home situation, but in my case, that's how I was able to, you know, move past and grow, was just to like give it so much love that it just didn't have any other, you know, it couldn't do anything else other than just like maybe evolve into something else. So yeah, this is Tacones Por La Puerta. I hope you guys like it. I hope you've heard it, or maybe not, but that's okay anyway. Un corazón que no tiene paciencia. Wait, guys, I kind of like just remembered something that I wanted to say, but then I forgot. Because I was like, wait, I'm in the middle of the song. Like, wait a minute, there's cameras. Wait a minute. Now I don't remember the lyrics. So let's do something really quickly. Can I take a picture of you guys? So I can send to my mom and my grandmother? I'm going to put the flash, okay? I don't know if it's going to come out. Is this okay that I'm doing this? Yeah? Okay. Okay, this is the worst picture of the night because the light is coming this way. Okay, sorry. I just got excited and I got emotional. I was like, what do I do now? Okay. Un corazón que no sabe de paciencia.
Tacones por la puerta, digo a tus manos cansadas. Doble es el filo si no vas a su ritmo. Brinda tus caricias, das todo.
But when you guys have a chance, it would really mean a lot if you actually go and listen to it on your car or on whatever you listen to music. Just because something really special about the song is Arthur Veracai is doing the strings in that song, and it just like he's a very important part of my music development, frontal lobe development part of my life. And he's just a Brazilian maestro, and he is just a big inspiration for me. And then I was able to have him on the song, and that was just crazy by itself. And anyway, just a little fun fact that if you want to just listen to what he did in the song, it's like really amazing. And yeah, probably a big achievement for me for sure. Anyway, so the next song is called Midnight Freakout. And that's it. Doesn't have a fun story.
It's been a while since I've
I also want to know a little bit more backstory of Already Yours. That's another song that we're currently playing on the station. Yeah, give me some tidbits on the Already Yours.
What's tidbits?
Tidbits, like the tea. Give me some tea on
Oh, give me some tea.
How did that come about?
It was actually funny enough. Midnight Freakout and Already Yours were written the same day.
Oh, okay.
Melodically. Like, it was one of those moments where I was in the microphone and then I just started singing the melodies. And I was able to kind of go through the entire thing and I was like, okay, next song. And then I did Midnight Freakout. I think Already Yours were first and then Midnight Freakout. The lyrics were not written, but like everything else, you know, kind of like the melodies were there.
But that's so interesting because Already Yours is, I think to me, feels like a soul song. Like,
well,
right?
I feel like in my head, I'm like Midnight Freakout is, actually this is like crazy. So it's actually not crazy, but so one of my favorite songs, God, I just don't want to get sued, but like it's fine. I don't think nothing's gonna happen.
No.
But Aretha Franklin's Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you, daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. And I was like, I need to sample that. I want to sample that. And then we tried sampling with Midnight Freakout and I was like, I want to do something. So then I kind of took the idea of that and then kind of put it into Midnight Freakout, like the feeling of it, of that little part. And then Already Yours happened, but to me, they were both inspired by like, kind of like R&B and soul and like Motown and, you know.
Yeah, you can feel it.
I mean, I don't know if you can feel it with Midnight Freakout. Already Yours is like very obvious,
Yeah,
I think.
that one, yes.
But to me, they both are very much like that.
Okay.
But I think Midnight Freakout, we were on like Massey Star. I'm like, oh, okay, love it too, you know? I love Massey Star.
What would you say is a great memory that you're going to take from writing this album that is always going to stick with you for years and years to come?
I think my conversations with Michael Uzuru, he's a very special person. Like, he's really smart. He's really in tune with something bigger. Like, it's just, you know.
Yeah.
So I think I just learned so much as a person, as a human. And, you know, I think a lot of those understandings and milestones, I would say, of me becoming like a better person and growing and whatever came through those conversations with Michael and me as an artist as well, like where I want to go, who I want to be, like what that actually looks like. And then the other person was, I went quite a few times to Diana Gordon's house to co-write a few of the songs. So Already Yours being one of them. And I think it was just like, we would talk for like hours and then we would write a little bit.
Those are the best.
Yeah, and I think that's how like, I think not most times, but in a lot of times when I've been in the studio, that's kind of how you get to a good thing, is like by actually getting to know the person and getting into this like, you know, understanding of what you guys are about, you know? But yeah, she gave me a bunch of book recommendations, and I don't know if she like obviously knows this, but I took it to heart and I went home and I read every single thing.
Oh, wow.
And like the artists she really looked up to and why, and like, you know, Diana's been an artist I also looked up for so long, so it's like, well, not for that long because I kind of found out about her kind of like later on. Mm-hmm. But when I found out about her, I was like in shock, and I was like, who is this person?
Saw
like,
the resume.
My God. Not even the resume, it's just like her as a person. I actually didn't even know about her like that long of, I mean, how crazy her resume was, but her as a person, I was just like I just want to sit and just hear you talk. Like, what do you have to say?
Just observe,
you know?
everything, huh?
Yeah, and she told me like the people she looked up to and documentaries and whatever, and I literally went home, saw all the documentaries, listened to all the music she said she loved, listened to all the books, everything. I was just like wanted to like really like, so I think those moments,
wow,
my connection to these people and how much I was able to learn from them what's super crazy for me, and it's just like they're so in tune with themselves, and like they're so kind and they're so loyal to the art and to themselves that I just like, you know, it's something that I want to keep.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's cool. And you think that'll definitely influence your next body of work?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of, you know, I was able to do this album and I'm like, I hope I can put myself in the same position mentally where I was able to write those songs from the place that I did. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, am I going to be able to do that again? I don't know.
Well, what would you take from this album that you learned into your next
I think
work?
just literally what I just said, my
Yeah.
conversations with
Yeah.
these people were very eye-opening.
Yeah.
Very simple
eye-opening.
conversations, but I was like, you know,
Yeah.
like literally she said, it's like, oh, I just want to be like outside in nature. I was like, like literally she would say something, I'll be like, yeah, like that must be the way. Like it was just really funny. I don't know. I think when you like look up to people and then they say something, you sometimes you're like, it clicks in a way that it didn't before, even though
Yeah,
it's so
that's
simple.
true. That's true.
Even with my mom, like she will say, repeat something forever, and then one day she'll say it again, and I'm just like, oh,
There it is.
yeah. I don't know if that makes sense,
It
but
does make sense because, I mean, you grow and you learn things and you're like, now I finally get what you're trying to tell me.
yeah,
you know?
exactly. Mhm.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I am kind of curious too with the album, the track listing. Why did you decide to put "How's That Working Out" at the end for a reason?
No.
Because it's such a fun song, and you know most people put the fun songs like in the middle or in the
Yeah.
beginning.
That's kind of what I was thinking too, but I mean, honestly, each song kind of like stands by itself. I think they have
Yeah.
such a strong part of myself in each one that when it came to doing the album like from top to bottom, I literally just like put them like in sound wise, like what do I need now? You know what I mean? Going to the next, like so someone can actually not be bored and then listen to the next song. So
Yeah.
in that way, like there is really not that much of a big story there. Unfortunately, because I know some people, I'm like, so
Yeah.
chocolate. I'm like, ooh, sorry. But
To each his own.
yeah, but every song definitely has a very, very, very big story behind it. So
Yeah, and we would need a podcast for each of those songs.
I don't
Right?
think I legally could allowed probably say half of the things about what
Of
the songs
course.
are really about. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there
yeah.
for sure.
Well, it was a great album. I'm gonna say it again. You truly outdid yourself with this. Your debut too.
Thank you.
What an impact you made with this one, and you really let everybody know, hey, I'm Sofía Valdés.
That's kind of what I was feeling, you know? I was like, this is like my first, like, okay, well, this is me, you know?
Here's my face.
Yeah. Yeah, literally my face and
Your whole face.
my name. I was like, how can I be blunt?
Yeah. It's like, remember my accents.
Ah.
También, right?
Yeah. It's so funny because some people like take them really seriously. They're like, oh, sorry.
It's a name.
It is my name. Like, in school, I would just get in trouble if I wouldn't put it, you know?
Yeah.
So then it kind of became like a very like strict thing for me. And I'm like, oh, so you miswrote my name. But, you know, it's just tildes. I don't know how you call it.
Yeah, tildes.
Accents.
Tildes, accents.
Yeah.
Well, Sofía, thank you so much for talking with me and also for taking part in our first ever winter showcase here.
This is
at
your first ever?
Yeah. You are the inaugural artist.
Oh,
to
God,
make
wait,
the
stop.
showcase.
Now I'm more nervous.
Is more nervous? And at this great coffee shop here, Arroz Fun.
Yeah.
You got a really cool
I
tea.
Love that. Yeah, I got a real flower in here. I already took it out because I started accidentally eating it.
Oh, but that gives you power.
Does it?
I think so.
Like,
Go back and eat it.
it's in the trash now.
Okay.
But
Well,
the
they can
tea was
refill.
really good.
Yeah. Hey, pues, cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Thank you so much again.
Yeah,
and
thank you for having me.
can't wait to see your set right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited too.
It's kind of funny because when I wrote all these songs, I was like, oh, wow, I'm killing it, upbeat. And I just, now I'm singing, I'm like, wait a minute, they're kind of slow songs. And I thought I was making pop music. But yeah, the song is called Already Yours, and it's, I wrote about, what did I write about? Oh, I kind of had this like really big fear into going into relationships again after this really big breakup I had. And I kind of was like, I don't know how to get into one again, because I'm either going to get hurt or I'm going to fall in love and then get hurt, or me not like them and hurt them, or we're going to be together forever. And honestly, it's just like, it's such a leap of faith. Is that how you say? Yeah. It's just like, yeah, you just don't know what's going to happen. And like, you're really, you put yourself in a very vulnerable position. And I think as I'm older now, it's something that now it's like become like a really big fear of mine, is like putting myself in a situation that like in a bad situation, or like in a sad situation, or somewhere I'm gonna cry at the end, or I just don't want problems. Anyway, so that's how Already Yours came about, because I was really trying to fight like not really falling in love with someone, and then I was kind of already there, you know. So yeah, this is Already Yours, and it's the last song. And thank you so much for coming. And to everyone, just like, I don't know how to like approach people very well, other than being like, hey. So if you guys like want to contact me, or if we do eye contact for like a second, then I'll know it's like, oh, maybe she has to talk to me. So maybe don't look at me if you don't want to talk to me. I don't know. Stop it. I don't know what I was trying to say. Anyway, just come say hi. That's all I want, okay? So yeah, Already Yours.
So simple, it'll take you by surprise. It's been a long time, waiting for you in the middle. Ooh, and something in the way that you held my eyes, asking me to stay, wasn't that implied? I might. Yeah, the way you got me feeling feels. I could almost see this happening, but I seen it all before. It can't as fast as it begins, but it feels like I'm already yours. We run in the same circles. It was only a matter of a high, and with the right situation, flowing all so naturally. I wasn't looking for someone to hold me, change what's around me, but you changed my mind. Yeah, the way you got me feeling feels. I could almost see this happening,
having me again. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna be hanging out now. Thank you, guys.
Once again, thank you, Sofía Valdés. Hey, Panama at its best right there. Don't forget, she has a new debut album out. It's under her name, so you can't miss it. There's some great songs in there. Thank you again for coming to our first Bilingual Sounds Winter Showcase. I hope you had a lot of fun. And, follow us on Instagram. We might have more in the future. Arroz Fun is always welcoming us here. And make sure to come to Arroz Fun as well on your own time. During the daytime, they have really good food. And thank you all again. Have a good night. And stick around. There's still more food. There's still more drinks. Let's be merry and happy holidays, y'all.